Coming up tonight on YCU, an alleged sex slavery case victim is suing his captors. The New Hampshire House is battling bedbugs with a proposed bill. And we'll get the inside spin on Omer and Bob's. With more news and weather, stay tuned. It's time for YCU, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region and central Vermont. News, sports, weather, public affairs, and all that's happening in our area. The news on YCU, your local view.
Hi, Dave Carmichael here with you on YCU. The victim in an alleged sex slavery case is suing his captors. Brett Barlotta was back in court Monday. Prosecutors pushed for his bail to be revoked. He is being charged with turning a teen boy into his sex slave and abusing the teen for years in Ludlow, Vermont. The judge did not rule on the revoking bail. Meanwhile, the victim in the case is filing a civil suit seeking damages against Barlotta. A Vermont criminal court yesterday sentenced a Rockingham man to 1 year in prison for his ties to an extensive burglary ring spanning 5 states in 2011. The court found 22-year-old Travis Noyes guilty after he accepted a plea argument in March that includes 12 months of imprisonment and 6 to 10 years of probation. Noyes will remain at the Southern State Correctional Facility in Springfield, where he is likely to serve the entirety of his 1-year sentence beginning this Friday. Noyes pled guilty to 4 counts and 2 misdemeanors for violating his release conditions. In court, Noyes said he was sorry and the burglaries were a stupid thing to do. A man shot and killed by police in Walpole on Friday had an active warrant out for his arrest. Larry Bonahan was shot in the head, chest, and abdomen after a pursuit that crossed from Vermont to New Hampshire. Investigators say he was suspected in an armed robbery that led to the chase. State prison officials say Bonahan was a wanted man at the time he was shot. He pleaded guilty to criminal liability to kidnapping in March of 1994. He was paroled in April of 1996 and violated his parole 2 months later in June of 1996. In July of 2011, he failed to meet with his parole officer and a warrant was issued for his arrest. The warrant was active at the time Bonahan was shot. Dummerston, Vermont police say they figured out who smashed into the historic covered bridge and took off. A witness saw a budget-moving truck hit the end of the covered bridge on East-West Road in Dummerston Sunday evening and kept going. Now police say that 23-year-old William Miller of Dummerston is charged with leaving the scene of an accident. Miller told police he was collecting sap for his family farm and didn't realize the height restriction on the bridge. Police say there is no indication of impaired driving. Vermont State Police are investigating an accident between a truck and 2 horses that sent the horseback riders to the hospital. Woodstock police say a pickup truck hit 2 horses and riders on Friday on Route 106. The riders, 54-year-old Anna Marie Savino and 28-year-old Christina Phillips, were treated at the hospital and released. Police say 1 horse had to be put down and the other is being treated by a veterinarian. An online argument between 2 people escalated into an alleged assault at the victim's workplace. Vermont State Police say that 18-year-old Daniel Davis of North Springfield went to the Magic Mushroom in Ascutney on Friday and assaulted 18-year-old Torrin Ruggiero of Claremont, New Hampshire. Davis allegedly stole a knife from the store and broke a display case during the assault. No injuries were reported, and he will be arraigned on an assault charge May 14th at the criminal court in White River Junction. New Hampshire House Republicans are criticizing their Democratic colleagues' spending priorities in the proposed 2-year state budget. Representative Neil Kirk said the $11 billion budget will cost county property taxpayers more money to care for the poor and the elderly in nursing homes. State aid to the counties would be the top priority for additional funding. A second priority would be to fund new school construction projects. Republicans say they intend to offer a few amendments to the budget when the Democratic-controlled House votes to make their points. The Vermont Senate is expected to take up a bill that would allow immigrant farm workers to get driver's licenses in Vermont. On Friday, the Senate Transportation Committee moved the bill out by a vote 4-1. Vermont dairy farms employ an estimated 1,500 Mexican farm workers, many of whom are in the country illegally. They say they are isolated in rural areas and have to get rides from their employer or volunteers. The bill would allow them to get driver's licenses provided that they have proper documentation and that they take tests to get a permit and then a license. New Hampshire lawmakers are hoping to help battle bedbugs with legislation aimed at curbing the parasite spread. The Senate will hold a hearing today on a House-passed bill that includes responsibilities between tenants and landlords once bedbugs or other pests are discovered. The bill would require landlords to take reasonable action to eradicate the pest within 7 days of them being reported. It also makes the landlords responsible for associated costs unless it can be proven that the tenant was the cause of the infestation. For these stories and more, be sure to check out our website at ycunow.com, and also please like our Facebook page. After the break, we'll hear from some art professors at Colby-Surrey College.
The YCU News continues in a moment.